Hello everyone, it is great to see you. My name is Ivo and welcome to Cooking with the Koyas. You know I love to share my recipes and I love it more when you make them. And today is no exception. We're going to make, instead of a pork fried rice, pork fried quinoa. Yes folks, quinoa. I have 1 cup of quinoa here. Let's give it a quick rinse. And what I'd like to say, with quinoa you have a huge advantage. You're talking, it's full of protein, it's rich in proteins, it has carbohydrates as well, and it's also an antioxidant. It's one of those superfoods, let's say. Now that we have our quinoa rinsed, let's make our way over to the stove. So let's get our quinoa started. Let's get that started right away because it takes about 20 minutes for the quinoa to cook. So let's get all our quinoa. Let's get it all into this pot. Okay, now to that we are going to add what I have here are 2 cups of chicken broth. Now, if you don't have chicken broth, you could use 2 cups of water. But because I'm using broth, I'm not going to add any salt. If you're going to use 2 cups of water, then add about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Okay, so let's bring this to a boil. And basically, to cook this quinoa, we bring it up to a boil and we're going to let it simmer for about 15 minutes until all the liquid is absorbed. Once that happens, we turn the stove off and we let it sit for another 5 minutes to finish cooking. That's how easy it is to make the quinoa. Now, while this is cooking, let's get our other ingredients ready. This recipe is actually super easy, folks, and comes together real quickly. And what I like to do is have all my ingredients ready and cut up beforehand. So I'm going to cook in a wok today, but you don't need to use a wok. You can use just a regular old frying pan. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is we're gonna fry up a couple eggs. We're going to scramble a couple of eggs, and we're going to do everything in the wok. Okay, so let's get a couple of eggs going here. 1 and 2. Okay, so we're just going to scramble these up. Yeah, like I say, this recipe, folks, it's quick, it's easy, it's delicious, and very healthy. Okay, let's get this egg cooked up. So the oil I used is peanut oil. You don't have peanut oil, no problem. You could use a vegetable oil or a seed oil, but I really like the peanut oil. I think it's one of the best for frying with. Okay, that's looking good. Let me just lower the heat and let's remove our egg. We're just going to put it aside and we are going to add this back into our pork fried quinoa later. So let's get this all removed. And as we removed our egg, as you can see, our quinoa is now come to a boil. I'm just going to lower the heat down a bit. Give that a stir. And we're going to let that cook away for, it's going to take about, like I say, about 15 minutes. And we'll let that just boil away. In the meanwhile, what we have here, I have about 1 pound of pork that I sliced thin and cut up. And then what I did, folks, is I went and added about 2 to 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. And it's absorbed it all, so you don't see the white there now, but it's there. And like I say, I like to prepare all my ingredients beforehand so that things move along much quicker. So we're going to take our pork. You could use any cut of pork that you want. You have some pork chops you want to use a piece of a pork roast, whatever you like, about 1 pound. You could go pound, 1.25 pounds. I have just slightly over 1 pound here. And we're going to bring that back up to temperature. And we're going to cook up this pork. There we go. And if we need more oil, I've got that peanut oil handy. But it looks like we might have enough. So we're going to saute and cook this up. And of course, the thinner you slice them, the quicker they're going to cook up. But these are coming across very, very nicely. I just love the sound of food being fried in a wok. Something about it. And you know, like I say, it's a very quick and easy way to put together a meal. And not only any old meal, but a delicious meal. And in this case, with the quinoa and our other ingredients, as you're going to see, very, very healthy. Okay, another 30 seconds. That's looking pretty good. I did have to add a little more oil. So let's just put our heat down. And same thing here now, folks. We are going to remove our pork and we're going to add it back to our stir fry later. So try to drain some oil. And let's get this removed from our wok. And there we have it. Okay, and try not to miss that step with the cornstarch because that helps to seal in the juices of our pork and keep it much more tender and juicy. Okay, so now that that's done, what I have here is I have 1 tablespoon of chopped minced ginger. I've used fresh ginger today, but you could buy the pre-minced ginger. That's perfectly fine. And I also have here 3 cloves of garlic that I have minced, and that's going in. So I still have the heat on low. I'll put it a little bit to more medium. And we want to cook these up for about 30 seconds, 30 to 60 seconds. We don't want them to burn, but we want them to just saute up nicely. And meanwhile, our quinoa is still cooking away there. In fact, I can give it another stir. You can see it's starting to thicken up now as our broth is getting absorbed. And that's been probably long enough for our garlic and ginger. So to that, we're going to add 1 pepper. And 1 bell pepper or any red pepper is ideal. This happens to be a shepherd pepper that I had in the freezer. So I just thawed it and chopped it up. Comes in handy. And it looks like I might need just a little more oil. So I'll add maybe another tablespoon there. And now another very healthy ingredient. These are soybeans, edamame. And the soybeans, again, these I had frozen, took them out of the freezer. I have 1 cup of soybean that I've added, and those are also, folks, high in fiber and high in protein. So our healthy stir fry just got a little healthier. Now, if you don't have the soybean, you can substitute with a cup of frozen or fresh peas. Okay, yeah, peas are great in this recipe as well. It's just the soybeans pack more nutrients, so that's why I went with the soybean today. And they are also very, very tasty. So while those are sauteing up, our egg, what we're going to want to do with our egg is break it all up. So just chop it up. And basically we're just going to toss these up and let them cook up while our quinoa is cooking. So again, I have it on just medium heat. So I'm just slowly cooking this because our quinoa needs about 10 minutes. You can see our broth is almost all absorbed. Probably needs about another 10 minutes. So I'm going to slow this down. And if this comes to the point where it's cooked, I don't want to overcook it, I will just shut it down and we'll wait for the quinoa. But for now, things are looking really good. And meanwhile, as we can see, our quinoa has absorbed all of that broth. So we're going to turn the heat off and it's going to sit for another 5 minutes, finish cooking, and then we can add it to our stir fry. Our soybean and peppers have been patiently waiting. Yes, I have the heat on low. And now it's time to add our quinoa, folks. Let's get our quinoa cooked nicely. Oh, that's beautiful. Nice and fluffy and creamy. And if I didn't mention, quinoa is gluten-free. So if you are gluten intolerant, this is a fantastic, fantastic meal to cook. Quinoa in general is just so good because it has all those vitamins, minerals, nutrients, proteins, carbs. All right, a little stuck to the bottom there, that's okay. So let's get our quinoa mixed in. Covered in all that beautiful, beautiful flavors that we've been developing here. Speaking of developing flavors, I have here 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar. In they go. And now, I mentioned gluten-free. If you're gluten intolerant, I have here, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of dark soya. So in your case, for the gluten-free folks, you can add gluten-free soya. Alrighty, so toss and get them all coated. This is looking good, looking good. And now we can add back that beautiful pork that we cooked up a little earlier. Continue to toss. This is going to be one high protein meal right here. One high protein meal. I can put my heat back up a bit now. We want to bring this back up to temp. Now you're talking. Isn't that looking good? And see how quickly this was to come together? If you have all your ingredients ready beforehand, 20 minutes to cook the quinoa and then put everything together. So I'm going to say an honest 45 minutes or less, start to finish. Okay, so at this point, we can add back the egg that we scrambled up earlier. Get that added in. And also, I'm going to also add, I've got 2 green onions that I chopped up. And we're going to add that right at the very end here. Oh yeah, this is coming together very nicely. And this is optional, but I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of sesame oil, which is very strong. So I don't want too much, but I'm going to add a little bit. Again, that's optional. You don't need to add that. 100% optional. Toss that in. Okay, and now we're going to add our green onions. Give it a quick toss. There we go. Just heat them up a bit. And this, folks, has come together really nicely. And guess what? It's ready to be plated. Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to the taste test. Let's get this plated up. Oh yes, let's get this plated up. Oh, that's looking really good. Really good. Gotcha. Oh yes. There we have it, folks. Piping hot. And I am looking forward to digging in. Let's give this the taste test. So here I am. I went and filmed a beautiful taste test. It was absolutely delicious. And somehow, don't ask me how, I must have deleted the footage. Because when I went to review everything, the taste test was gone. Laura and I had our dinner. It was absolutely delicious. This is all I have left. And I put it in the refrigerator. And you know what? On the other hand, it's good to know because this will keep in the fridge very nicely and makes for a fantastic lunch. Even cold, right out of the fridge, it's really, really good. In fact, it's cold right now. And I'll sample a bit. Just as good as it was hot. But you know what? That fact that it's a little cool, it's almost like you're eating like a salad almost. But it's very, very tasty. Seriously. Just as good cold as it was hot. And that is a great sign of a good meal. And again, you notice they didn't add any salt because the soy, I always say soya. The soy sauce is salty enough. But if you wanted to add salt, you add it at the very end, no problem at all. But this dish comes together quickly, full of nutrients, full of protein, great food value, so good for you, so tasty, and it's even good cold. How do you like that one? I really hope you give this recipe a try. Wherever you're tuning in from, I want to thank you for spending time in the kitchen with me on today's episode of Cooking with the Koyas. And as always, folks, until next time, bon appetito and salud. In fact, late night snack. Never hurt anyone. It's that good.